Hey guys, welcome back to Team Death Slinger. My name is Peter, and today we're going back to Purple Hybrid, post-ban and restriction, and we have a little bit of Angel Spice from BT21 with the new Rasielmon box topper. We have Alliance, we have an Angel that synergizes really well with Venusmon, so we're going full control. So starting with our eggs, 4 copies of BT16 Cupimon. If you played Purple Hybrid, you know this is the bread and butter egg. On deletion, by trashing a card in your hand, you're going to gain a memory. Keeps lots of plays alive by giving us that extra memory for just a little bit more value, especially in the early game when we're trying to set up tamers and not pass the opponent with too much memory. We are also going to run the 5th egg with the BT3 DemiMeramon. On deletion, draw 1, trash 1, just helps you cycle, and because we are running the Ukkomons, we want to have that 5th egg to pad out. Moving on to rookies, 3 copies of ST16 Gabumon. Start of your main phase, if your opponent has a Digimon, gain a memory, just an excellent way to guarantee yourself 3 memory with the Cupimon egg underneath this. If the opponent's doing anything at all, you're going to be able to get to 3 memory on your turn, assuming this dies on the check. And when attacking, you get to draw 1, trash 1. Also not bad for helping you find your pieces, especially if you get this in a stack with the DemiMeramon egg. You might just be able to get 2 draws and trashes if you evo on top of this. We are going to go 4 copies of the BT16 Ukkomon that we did just mention. Another staple for hybrid engines. When this, or any Digimon promotes for that matter, real top 3, get a Digimon or Tamer. The rest go bottom, and then you get to hatch an extra egg. So you're going to be able to swing this in for trip, potentially get a memory back. You get to search when you promote. If this doesn't die on the swing, you get to keep searching as you promote more eggs. It's just heart and soul of the engine. We are also going to go 3 copies of the EX6 Salamon. Start of your main phase, if you have a purple Digimon or Tamer, you gain a memory, which we will absolutely be meeting that requirement almost all of the time. And then when attacking, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2000 DP for the turn. Sometimes that does matter. So this is kind of the first piece of our Angel Spice we have going on here. Moving on to level 4s, 4 copies of Duskmon from BT18. On play and when digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn, you change the color of one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers to a non-white color. That is a good way to get around Blastasis, and depending on the deck, if they do not have tribal evolution requirements, you might be able to stop them from evoing up the stack. When attacking, one of your Digimon or Tamers can evo into a level 4 card with the hybrid trait in the trash with the cost reduced by 1. You are usually using that to swing this and then evo into a Velgrmon in the trash, and the inheritable says you can play 1 Tamer card with a play cost of 4 or less from your trash without paying the cost. So when this stack dies, you get to play a Tamer back. Just fantastic value and a little bit of shenanigans to be done with that. We are going to have 3 copies of BT18 Velgrmon on play, and when digivolving for each color your opponent's Digimon and Tamers have you trash a card from the tops of both players' decks. Then for each card this effect trashed, you get 1k DP for the turn. End of attack, by deleting a level 4 or lower purple Digimon, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level with a retail inheritable. Most of the time, you are going to be evoing this on top of a Koichi, swinging after changing a color, and then you're going to evo into the Velgrmon, probably mill 4 cards, be an 11k beat stick. Usually it lives unless you're unlucky and it hits a level 6, and then you pop this Velgrmon. You're going to trade up hopefully into your opponent's stack to remove whatever's on their board, and then you're going to get to play a Tamer back with a Duskmon, which should give you the Koichi back that you evo on top of. So that's our main combo. We are also going to run 4 copies of the BT18 Loweemon. When digivolving, you're going to draw 1 and trash 1 card in your hand. When attacking, one of your Digimon or Tamers may digivolve into a purple or yellow Digimon card with the hybrid trait in your trash. So usually we're going to use this to evo into the KaiserLeomon in the trash. And then all turns, when this Digimon would leave the battle area other than by your effects, you can play a Tamer card with the inherited effects from this Digimon's Digivolution cards without paying the cost. So if this ever leaves the battlefield, you get the Koichi that you evoed on top of back. Also with that, when attacking, you can evo into the Rhihimon. That is also a staple combo with this card. Speaking of the KaiserLeomon, I am on 4 copies of it. I went 4 and 4 because I want to make sure I have the materials to actually warp into the Rhihimon fairly often. This has retail on play when digivolving. Delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. Evos on Loweemon for 1 and has a retail inheritable. That retail inheritable actually does come up quite a bit. And then moving on to level 5s, 4 copies of the Rhihi that we just talked about, has the main effect from hand by placing a Lowie and Kaiser from your trash under one of your purple or yellow Tamers. You can warp into this card for a cost of 3, ignoring the requirements. That's going to be clutch in this deck. Has jamming. When digivolving, you can play a Tamer card with inherited effects from your trash without paying the cost. It's going to get you a Koichi back. And then the inheritable says when attacking, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 4k for the turn. That actually synergizes really, really nicely with the Salamon. If you somehow get a stack just by evoing straight up off the Salamon, you can dole out minus 6k when you swing with this, which is really not bad at all. Our other level 5 in the deck, more of the Angels shenanigans. We're going to run an EX6 Angewomon. Has barrier, does evo on purple and yellow. So if you have a Duskmon, you can evo this Angewomon on top of it. On play and when digivolving, if you have a Mirei in play, one of your opponent's Digimon gets security -2 until the end of their turn. If you don't have one, you can play a Mirei from your hand without paying the cost. And the Inheritable says, well, this Digimon has Angel or 3 Great Angels traits, it gains Alliance. There's a lot going on with this card. It's going to do a lot of things for us. First of all, it does play us a Mirei for free if we don't have one. We are going to be running the Mirei that gives us 1 memory per turn. And all of these little outlets we have to get 1 memory per turn are going to start to add up, especially when that Mirei hits the board. If we already have the Mirei, we get to dole out security -2. We are running a hard control top end. Security -2 just does not feel good for your opponent. They're going to have to figure out how to deal with this, and it's going to be really, really annoying the more you see this card. We do also gain Alliance on our 3 Great Angels trait cards, which is going to synergize really, really good with this new Rasielmon from the LM pack BT21 box topper. You're going to be able to give it Alliance, and especially with the hybrids that we're running, we're going to be able to get an extra body on the board so that we can swing in our Alliance checks and do big damage. So, speaking of the BT21 box topper, Rasielmon has security attack +1, evos on an angel or archangel trait cost for 3, otherwise it is 4, so this will go on Angewomon for 3, it'll go on Rhihimon for 4. On play when digivolving, you suspend one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers, then until their turn ends, one of their Digimon or Tamers can't activate when digivolving effects or unsuspend. Really gross. It's kind of like a mini Venusmon. It doesn't give the security -1 effect to everything and then turn off the effects of everything. In exchange for that, it gives you a little more aggression with the security attack +1, and on deletion, this gets placed as the bottom security card, so combined with the ruin mode, you're actually going to be recovering quite a bit with this top end. More often than not, we are trying to lock the board down with the Venusmon, the ruin mode, and then when you get into this with a Angewomon underneath, you're going to be swinging in for that really, really devastating 3 checks and being quite a problem for your opponent to deal with. We are also going to run 4 copies of the BT10 Venusmon. If you've never played against this card, God bless your soul. You've had a great time in this card game so far, but that will change when you play this against your opponents. So when digivolving, all of your opponent's Digimon get security attack -1 until the end of your opponent's turn, and then on your opponent's turn, all of their Digimon with security attack modifiers can't attack this Digimon and can't activate when attacking and when digivolving effects. So this does a lot of things. First of all, it turns off when attacking and when digivolving effects. That sucks for your opponent. They're just basically playing their stacks. They can really only draw cards or use options, and then because everything with the security attack modifier can't attack this Digimon, you can basically get in for the Venusmon for free chip, and your opponent can't clap back on the swing unless they have an option to remove the Venusmon. You are still susceptible to on-play effects, that's important to note, but Medieval Gallimon actually says it's on play. Not necessarily it's on play, but when a Digimon is played, you activate the when digivolving, which means you can't actually target or activate that when digivolving because of Venusmon, which gives the security attack modifier to the Medieval Gallimon. So that's a really, really cool piece of information that makes this card especially gross. We are also going to run 2 copies of the EX4 ShineGreymon Ruin Mode when digivolving and on deletion. Your opponent's board gets -5k, so ideally you'll be evoing into this, giving -5k, and then on your next turn you're going to swing with it. You're going to resolve its end of attack to delete itself, and you're going to give them -5k again. Just shuts out all the small bodies on the board and stops your opponent from having fun. End of attack, delete this Digimon and one of your opponent's Digimon and recover 1. Then if you have a Tamer in play, you hatch a Digi-Egg to an empty space in your breeding area. So we have lots of ways to shovel through eggs in this deck. We have the Ukkomons, we have the ShineGreymon Ruin Modes. We're going to be recovering with this card, recovering with the Rasielmon, and then we're going to be removing the opponent's bodies after telling them they're not allowed to activate their when digivolving or when attacking effects. So it sounds like a great time for us, not so much for the opponent. We are going to run 1 copy of Jax Raid. It is restricted, but you gain a memory for every 10 cards in the trash. We're running Duskmon Velgrmon, so we might as well run the Jax Raid. We are going to run 4 copies of the BT7 Koichi Kimura. On play, draw 1, trash 1. The on deletion inheritable is what we care about more. We want this underneath our Duskmon to make sure we can get memory back and keep extending our plays. 2 copies of the BT11 Mirei. We did talk about it. The start of your turn effect to gain a memory is fantastic. It is purple and yellow, so it can be evoed on by both the Duskmon and the Loweemon, and we don't care about the your turn effect because we will never have a Lady DemiMeramon to play with this effect. We are then going to round out with 3 copies of BT18 Koichi Kimura. Start of your main phase, you can trash a card with the hybrid or 10 warriors trait in your hand to gain a memory. That's going to be great. Again, like I said, there's so many ways for us to just gain 1 memory here and there that you're actually going to wind up with quite a bit of memory to play with once your engine is online and running. And the inheritable says when attacking, you can return a card with the hybrid or 10 warriors trait from your trash to the hand, so you can recur any pieces you need to keep your place alive. So that is what we're doing with Purple Hybrid, with Angels, I guess technically, Rasielmon. It's just hard control with Purple Hybrid. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you're still playing Purple Hybrid, I know a lot of people are, but what you're doing with it, I'd love to hear it. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Thank you to our channel members for supporting this channel. It's people like Langlong, Big Z11, Coffee Deus, and DigiDane who make videos like this possible.